Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Nebraskans are proud of their public schools. Hi, I'm Tim Royers. As a Nebraska Teacher of the Year, I traveled across the state and saw the value public schools bring to our communities every day. They're where our kids get the skills and opportunities they need to succeed. They're where families come together to enjoy a musical, cheer for our teams, talk with teachers, and build trusted relationships. Strong public schools create strong communities.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, where your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Chancellor Brewington, powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome in. What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington, the final show of the Ticket weeknights for tonight. If you guys want to join in, 402-464-5685. That is the Start Haven text line. As always, everybody face the voice, Facebook, YouTube, XL, channel 961. Chancellor Brewington, how's it going on a Thursday night? Here in Lincoln, Nebraska for me. I'm not entirely sure where you're at. What part of the neck of the woods?
I'm in Dallas, Texas right now. So I mean, it's like a 10-hour drive, but not too far. I'm doing great though. I'm doing great. What's the weather like in Lincoln right now?
A little bit shaky. Today was pretty good though. I will say yesterday was windy. One of those days you need to put some like rocks in your pant lines, stay way down. But otherwise, it's been all right. Just the wind, just the notorious Nebraska wind that rears its head every other day, but it is getting warmer.
Yeah, that's always good. Texas is interesting. Texas, like, you feel the humidity. It's like almost you feel it. You kind of get like a foreshadowing of what summer is going to be like. It's a little warmer. It was probably like 75 today, but the 75 kind of felt like 85. And I don't know. It's just interesting. I've never been in a Texas summer. I don't know if I'll be here, but I've been through AZ summers, and that's some dry heat. It's just hot. There's nothing else to it. But I've never really been around 120 or 115 or even 100 and humid as well. So that's a whole nother experience. And there's something else here. The bugs here are so big.
Really?
Man, I don't know what it is. The bugs are big. It's a whole bunch of insects I've never seen before, Harrison. Texas, man. Everything they say everything's bigger.
Yeah, I want to think the bugs though. That surprises me a little bit.
Yeah, super strange. Super strange. But I mean, we got a lot to get into. I want to keep going down this NBA talk because I think it's fun. You see the Mavs and Lakers played the other night. Luka staying hot. LeBron looks good.
Yeah, Luka got 45, 7 for 10 from 3.
Yeah, just video game numbers at the end of the day. But it's good to see them picking up. Then I want to get into some Husker football talk, of course, and just kind of expectations and the no spring game. Like what does that mean? And I'll give my 2 cents early. I don't think it means much, of course, but I think it's like the tradition. You're slowly seeing traditions being stripped from college football, and it's kind of sad, like especially being a former player and you experience some of those. I was talking with one of the guys. I'm like, I had a brain fart. I didn't realize. I was like, hey, when is your spring game? And he's like, oh, well, we're not having one. And I was like, what? I was like, dang. And I don't know. I'm not going to quote him, but it seemed like they're doing like a co-ed.
Yeah, it's Husker Games is what it's called. So you can go watch soccer that day. You can go watch volleyball that day. You can go watch some version of like football. I think it's like a 7-on-7. I can't remember exactly. I think they'll do some drills and stuff. And was baseball maybe as well? No, definitely not baseball. I can't remember what the other ones are. But yeah, there's women and men's sports scrimmages, events going on, and then you got a bunch of other stuff like they got like a yard sale type deal where you can get old Husker equipment. So it's an all-day affair now with multiple sports going on.
That's fun. It still is. I'm all for the inclusiveness, but it still is it's a little sad. Like it's not like, it's not what you want to see sometimes, in my opinion, at least, but there's space for it. I mean, there's space for it. I think the more I'm outside of like the football landscape, I realize that like the world is bigger, of course, but also like sports is bigger, and like people have love not only for football, and especially within like Nebraska's culture, people have love for every Nebraska sports. If it has an N on it, there's some type of fan base, some type of support system. Like we have. I don't know if the Bullers were on earlier today or if it's a different.
They were on. We had a Monday and Tuesday. They took off Wednesday because they're headed to Vegas for championship.
Right. Okay. There you go. Championship. Exactly. Right. Like, and I guarantee there's going to be some supporters coming with them. And,
they got a whole gaggle, all their family, and then a decent amount of fan base as well.
Exactly.
Vegas, so easy to get people out there in Vegas.
Yeah, it would probably be a fun time. Stay focused.
Don't those bowling parlays.
Yeah.
it's a casino where they're competing at.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's
they in the Caesar's MGM. Palace.
No, I think it's MGM.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's beautiful. I really doubt they have like live odds going on during the bowling tournament, but it'd be awesome.
That'd be crazy.
Because it's the Final Fours essentially, and I mean you're in a casino. It'd be a lot of fun, but no, I don't think that's allowed.
Yeah, betting on bowling would be interesting.
I bet you it'd be really fun. Like think about how nerve-wracking. Well, and I shouldn't be talking like this because I never want to promote it, but that'd be like I think it'd be pretty exhilarating way to watch bowling.
Well, are you we betting no strike, betting at pre-roll? That'd be pretty fun.
I think you take like pin totals, right? And for each game, it's like say the number is 240. You're going over under on it. And then if you want to parlay them, right? So they'll play in matches and it can be like 7 games and parlay games when 1 through 7, want to get crazy with it. I don't know how you could string it together.
Yeah, it seems like you know this a little too well, Harrison.
I know bowling
I'm joking.
pretty well. I've done enough shows with the bowlers, and I'm better for it. I'll tell you what, you hang around winners enough, hopefully some of that rubs off on me. Because bowlers,
Come on now.
they show up and win every night.
Yeah, I like the single person sports. I've got a lot of respect for them. I think it takes a different mental fortitude, and I think it takes a different like accountability within the individual for those type of sports like golf, tennis. Although like golf and bowling and even tennis are, you can play doubles, of course, in tennis, but those are like very individual.
Yeah.
Mano y mano, but really it's like self versus self. Like, how can I be my best? It's not like, football. It's, the receiver's kind of predicated on the quarterback, and the quarterback's kind of success is predicated on the O-line, and the O-line is, kind of on the play call and what the defense does. But in those sports, it's like, it's just me. It's just me. And that's why I love pitching. Like, I loved pitching back in the day, like, because I thought pitching was kind of like, the way I saw it was, I have the ball in my hand every play. And I can dictate the way this game goes. And it could go bad based on my performance, or it can go good. And I think like that pressure, but also like that responsibility, I think it's like almost like innate in the human being to like want that in a way. Like, like
some people.
For some people, of course.
Yeah, it's like a gift that some people have.
Yeah.
Seriously, that calmness of mind, like you're kind of talking about golf, like that's what the bowlers compare it to a lot is golf. Because it's like 3 days, right? You leave throughout the regular season. I think it's typically they leave Wednesday, they show up on Thursday, but they bowl Friday, but then they bowl again on Saturday, and then they bowl again on Sunday. And it's like all day. So it's kind of like golf, and the Masters are going on right now, right? You got your days going on, and each day you're just doing everything you can to keep it together. And like, even if you have a really good day, you still got to wake up the next day and do it again. And then if you have a bad day, then you got to wake up and make sure you have a good day the next day. So it's just, it's the biggest thing you hear from like the bowlers in particular, and why I think it's a good comparison that you did with like being on the pitcher's mound solo. But it's just a strenuous mental game that lasts days at a time. And that's why it's such a rare breed of people that can do it.
Yeah, no, I think you have to have the like that weird drive. It's like it's a weird drive because it's like this like you're super self-contained, super self-motivated. It comes from within, external factor. Like, you don't get juiced up about external things. Like, it's more so like it's this internal battle. And if I win this, I win. And, football has that in a way, the saying, doing your 1/11th, meaning, I do my job, the next guy does his, take that same philosophy down 11 people on one side of the ball, then, it will be a successful play. You have a bunch of successful plays in a series, you'll have a good drive, do that in a game, you'll win the game. Right. So, but then you take the same like principle in that is like, it's just me versus me. At the end of the day, it's just me versus me. I was watching a clip of these Chargers receivers, and the receiver coach was saying that the receiver starts off being open, and it's the DB's job to cover them. Because he proposed the question to him, like, does the DB I forget the exact. He started off with the receiver. He said, does the receiver get open, or does the DB cover him, right? And so he was saying that the receiver is open from the beginning. The receiver's not covered until he gives the DB a chance to be covered. And it's like this it's like receiver is awesome because it's like really you versus you. And then if you win your battle, usually you win against the DB. And I think that goes across the board with football in general, but sports and life and, I think life as well, mainly from life. I think you get that principle from life,
I think so. I hope so. I don't know how much of that principle I got myself, but yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you got to be your own juice. Like, nonstop. You can't rely on anybody else in those sports. Like, even though the bowling, like, the team bowling, but you are the one up there bowling solo. It's not like you're all, touching the bowling ball together, rolling it hand in hand. and synchronization. Like you're one up at a time, you got to go perform. So it's a tough thing to do. I'm always a little like golf is always one I'm a little envious of because I'd love to have that type of composure. But I'll be like just playing for friends and I'll get frustrated and it's gone, you know?
No, I think golf is interesting, man. I wish I could get into it. It's something I like. The older folks around me always say it's something I'm gonna get into later in life, but I'm kind of envious that people like to or their passion for it because I think it is like a calming. I like being out in nature. Like that'd be cool if shoot. My favorite sports play is like basketball, like going and hooping. Like it'd be cool if like you could hoop around trees in nature, right? Like, but that's just not. Well, yeah, but like it's just not.
I know what you mean. You get a little bit of wind, you can't play.
Right. It's over
golf,
with.
if it's a little bit windy, you're still fine. Even if it's raining a little bit, not great, you can still get it done. But yeah, wind
still
and
get after a
basketball.
little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think I like the nature aspect and I like the mano y mano part to it too. And you don't need anyone. I think the best sports and the sports you can be the best at is the ones you don't need anyone to play with, like to train at. Like at the end of the day, you don't really need a golf. I don't even know someone to play 9 holes with to get better at golf.
Right.
And then I also like basketball too. I always was envious of like basketball people in college and high school because like to train for basketball, all you really need is a basketball and a hoop. And really all you need is a basketball. You can get some really good stuff done. You don't really need to wear cleats. You don't need a quarterback throwing to you. I always thought like the skill set of basketball is something that like so many people could achieve, and get better at and refine their skills. But no, I got mad respect for golfers, bowlers, tennis players, rifling. I got mad respect for all those sports because it takes a super dedicated individual and like it takes a different level of, I would say, self-discipline for those.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's exciting to watch them, be that consistent at it. Like again, apologies, you guys getting tired of hearing about the bowlers, but you need to hear about them that much because there's just they've never not made postseason, which is unreal. And
wow.
It takes not only the players, but it also takes, their coaches, Coach Klempa, JB, the other one, like they got to maintain that focus as well, make sure everybody's ready. And same thing can be said, the men's tennis program at Nebraska is actually, I think, doing a lot better than people anticipated. But yeah, it's really cool. Did you play any of those niche sports growing up? Weren't you a lacrosse guy?
Oh, no, sir.
Oh, I thought you had a year.
No, I wish. I mean, that would have been a cool experience.
I hear it's hockey on grass is kind of
hockey in the air.
What? No, you're not flying. I mean, you're still on the ground.
I mean, the ball's in the air.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No.
I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, no, not like that. No, we had some decent lacrosse. I think lacrosse is best in I think it's like the East Coast, Northeast Coast.
Yeah, go find Duke and North Carolina and those schools.
Right.
East Coast. It seems like it's kind of like hockey, a little bit more expensive. So typically the places where it's good are going to be those areas that are a little bit more well off, not because they're hogging all the hockey or all the lacrosse, but they have the money to actually go get the equipment. And especially with hockey, like ice is expensive, and if you got somebody you're really trying to make an NHL pro athlete one day, like you got to find time to practice. You got to rent out ice, or you got to have a trainer. Like it's hockey's brutally expensive. Lacrosse, I'm not sure where it's at, but I'm sure it's up there.
Look, I know baseball.
Or is that a no on niche sports?
No, I know one sport that's expensive growing up was baseball. Like that's like the equipment
seems like optional.
As far as what?
Like how much you spend on your bat.
Yeah, but it does matter. Like the quality of bats is like, from Dean Marini to, I don't know, and back in the day, like the Nike bats, like there was, at least when I played, there was a super big difference. Like the composite of, what the bat's made of, and this, a $200, crappy Easton bat to like a $300 Easton, or, I mean, not Easton, Dean Marini or whatever. whatever it was at the time. We had this Marucci bats that were big back in the day. But like the tournaments in baseball are interesting. So like at least in Arizona, there was tournaments like every weekend. So you would go play at certain places, and one of them was it was called Big League Dreams. And so it was basically they have one in Arizona and I believe one in Las Vegas. But it's like these mini ballparks, and MLB parks. So they have Fenway, they had the Angel Stadium, they had Yankee Stadium, the old Yankee Stadium. They had the Mets, they had I believe D-backs because it was Arizona, but like it had all of these. And so as a kid, like you're literally playing in like a replica stadium, and in the feet, it's only like 300 to like 320 feet. So it's a small ballpark, right? It's not actually, I mean, it center field could get like 350. So, but it's not like a traditional like 400 center field and like a 370 right and left field, right center. So, but it's super interesting. Like the replicas are like on point. It took like, I want to say like, it took like $30 million to build the whole facility. Like it's nuts. And
Is the facility you're talking about, Brewington?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say, it's like, man, I hope he didn't spend that much money. Nothing wrong with that place still, but for that price tag, I would have been a little shook.
No, it's like literally a kid's dream. Like from ages probably like 8 to like 12, you could play there, because once you get older, like you just start hitting balls out the park. But people play softball leagues there. But I guess my point is that it costs a lot of money to play at those places, so it can get costly for parents. I understand why some people's philosophy is just pick one when it comes to like expenses, but I know for a fact, and we've said this on the show, that some of the best athletes play multiple sports growing up.
Yeah, it's tough to do. It's like, and I feel bad, especially if you're one of those parents that's like, things are tight. And you're like, okay, pick one. And he says hockey. And you're like, damn, worst one you could have picked. But all right, I did promise you one. But we'll see how this goes. And we talked about this before, but in basketball, it's like the most obvious, like the amount of AAU circuits. You always wonder, like, at what point are we just, not that the coaches are in it for nefarious reasons, but it's like, is this really helping anybody? Or would we be better off just playing with the kids in your local area and figuring out how to become a leader within your own community? There is
that's interesting.
I mean, there's some value to that. Because if you are that best player on that team, and you got to figure out a way to make everybody else better, and you're a big LeBron guy, isn't that the beauty of LeBron? Like, seriously, those players that make everybody else around them better. Like, there is a premium price on people that can do that in any sport.
Yeah.
And you lose that to AAU, I think.
So how would you navigate someone just head and shoulders above the local competition?
So there's going to be situations that head and shoulders, like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But pick a spot. Don't make it every summer you're on a new squad.
Yeah.
Or like find a trainer. Like, you got to find some sort of consistency. I just, when you're constantly like changing your team over the summer, or different coaches or different trainers, it's like you're just constantly forgetting the old, learning the new, and it's just a cycle, and you're not really building on the foundation you started with. So that's why I'm always big on, you got to figure out what works for you. And then if you do grow too big for the pond, you'll realize it, because it won't even be a challenge. But when that's the case, like, yeah, you can move on. But if you're on an underperforming team and, it's not to the point to where you're quite literally their only chance night in, night out to win a game, then, like, yeah, I think it's, you do your best to stick to it and you make that team as best as you possibly can. And I think you're going to find more value in that than just dipping and hopping on a loaded team on an AAU circuit where your roles diminish more.
Yeah, it's so funny you said that. That was something that Gilbert Arenas was talking about with his son, is if he was to go put his son, and he's a stud, like he's really good. Yeah, he's a stud. I believe he's a McDonald's All-American player. But if he was to go, play at, Sierra Canyon or wherever the big places in Southern California is, then he would probably be like, one of the 3 best players, and he wouldn't really have the feeling of taking a team, putting them on their back, being the main ball handler, the main decision maker, having to guard the best player, having to take the shot when it matters, having to average over 25, having to, literally do everything, know the playbook, know everything like the back of their hand, be the leader, vocalize, and having that pressure on them in high school is super valuable, because Gilbert Arenas was saying that once you get to college, you're gonna have those situations, of course, where you are the best player on the squad. But to already feel that, you already know what it feels like going to college. And of course, if, on that trajectory, you're probably going to be a first round draft pick, right? And so you know what that feels like. And then when you go to the team, you already knows what it feels like to carry individuals. And I think people actually forget because I think sometimes we take like football and baseball and, basketball and kind of mesh them all together through the draft process. Well, a lot of basketball players, I mean, you look at the top 10 picks of the last 5 years. 2 years ago, they were playing high school ball. So what happens like in high school is really matters. And it kind of goes to what you're saying. Like if that kid isn't pushed and isn't primed in high school for college, like he really only has, early enrollment. I mean, what, 7 months, 8 months at the college? And right? Well, no, technically, because they just got done. So I don't know if they leave school, midway through spring semester. But I mean, you only have like 6 or 7 months at the college, and then you're in the NBA. So high school means a lot, and it goes to exactly to the point you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, this is an extreme case, but look at Chino Hills brothers. Chino Hills was a nobody school. What if all those guys just took up and left? Like Chino Hills didn't have any, if not to my knowledge, at that point in time, like any history of having any sort of relevancy in basketball. But, it's like you got these sons, Lonzo Ball, Jello, and LaMelo, and you could just go up and move and go to Sierra Canyon, especially you're in California already. But instead, you make Lonzo Ball look like the best player in the world, and he gets drafted number 2 overall. LaMelo Ball, he carries it on. Jello even gets a shot at the NBA, and I think he's making music now. But, I just think that stuff goes a lot further than just joining up with those loaded teams. Obviously, there's always a scenario where that might be the right decision, but I do think more often than not, that's the better move to make is can you do it with your own community? If yes, you'll only become a better leader for it. And I think being a leader is more important, especially today than ever. With that being said, Brewington, anything left before we throw it to our first break?
Nah, I like that last quote. Being a leader is more important than anything. I love that.
Absolutely. Well, then we'll go to break on that. Don't go anywhere. What's brewing with Chancellor Brewington? We'll talk to you on the other side.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Hey, bestie! Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own.
Always in the driver's seat, huh?
Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot.
Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop.
Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown's Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular priced athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Spring is the time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Führer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Back to What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome back in. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We got Chancellor Brewington streaming in, the host, as always, of the show. And we'll start this segment off with the YouTube comment. Chancellor Brewington, this one from TMZ. Not a bad question, honestly. If you're not a sports psychologist, what are you waiting for?
TMZTO. If you're not a sports psychologist, what are you waiting for? Hey, I really love the mind. Impressive. Very clear, cerebral and insightful, prepared and productive. Go Chancellor. Man, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I don't know. There's something really fascinating about the mind. I don't know what it is. You know, everyone has their own burning bush. But I think there's a lot inside human potential. What you laughing at? I really do think there's something about the mind that fascinates me, and I think there's untapped potential within everybody. And so, if that boils down to psychology, then but I appreciate it though. I appreciate the listen. I appreciate the comment, because it's always good to just hear from people, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I would say one thing I do like about the study of like the mind is how it does correlate to sports in a way, because I would say one area where I struggled in sports in general was working out of like separation. And what I mean by that is feeling separated from the end goal and like trying to work towards it and using my work as like the thing that gets me there, instead of really just believing it already happened and just believing it's, and my belief in the thing being the cornerstone, right, that I can stand on, instead of my work ethic and, because I studied so much and because I did this or because I worked out 3 times a day that I'm going to make it. So I love that, because at the end of the day, the way I look at it, and this is super transparent, is if I were to say that the reason I didn't make it was because of X, Y, and Z, whatever it is, that would be the same. I would have that same story for everything in my life, right? Whether it be the coach, the weight, the this. So I like to kind of what we were talking about in the first half was like, okay, well, if that's not, if that's not the story I want to live by, I'll live by this story that I didn't make it because there's something I didn't do, right? And take the real ownership, self-responsibility, and then be able to apply that to everything else I do in my life. Because then when I make it, guess what I can say? Or make it, quote unquote, because I don't know if you ever make it. But when you achieve the thing you set out for, then you can say, oh, I made it because I made these decisions to believe in myself and this, and this, and it will never be because of anyone else. So that, I would say, I think more athletes could adopt that into their philosophy, and especially for like the perfectionists that the people who are super hard on themselves and don't give themselves grace. Because I think as an athlete, you're always getting criticized. Like you're always like, Harrison, your left foot was a false step, or your right hand placement was outside the shoulder. You're going to get called for holding in the game. Criticize. You don't get told that you ran a good route. Like you really don't. Right. And so you kind of adopt that personally. And for the person that's already like in that mode, of, I need to do this right, I can't mess up this and this, it becomes super unhealthy, and you can't take that into real life, because you'll beat yourself up and you'll feel like you're not worthy of anything because you're just criticizing all day. So that's something the only reason I can speak on it is because I actively have worked on it, will work on it, because it's probably something that will never leave me, that kind of side somehow I'll always have to battle. But I think it's like the razor edge between being super highly ambitious of I'm setting out to do something, but also the back end of like being present and give yourself grace and understanding like Rome wasn't built in a day, and that like people mess up and you are not going to be perfect, and like being okay with it. Because like in football, there was like my goal in college was to play a perfect game, like on the X's and like the plus and minuses.
Mm-hmm.
And it never happened, right? Because who the hell ever plays a perfect game? Like it just like it's an absurd goal, right? But I appreciate the comment. I think some athletes have just remarkable minds, and they accomplish a lot of things. I think it's a common principle that you can take into life. So yeah,
that's good. I'm gonna steal some of that too. For start, like the work ethic. You got to believe it being the cornerstone. Like if you don't actually believe it, it's not going to go anywhere. Because that's a good one. Because I think a lot, like even me included, like I get stuck on the idea. It's like, well, if I work hard, right? You work hard, that means it'll go your way. And it's like true. But if you only think work ethic is the only thing.
Yeah.
And like you don't actually have any direction or any idea. You just think if I work hard long enough without any real sense of direction, eventually things will arrive at some better destination. But like if you don't have that belief and like what you're looking for, then like you might be working hard, but it's just that opportunity, you're gonna miss it every single time, because you're not looking for it. You're not looking forward, you're just looking down at what you're working on. And it's a great place to start. Like don't get me wrong, work ethic, having that's huge, but to your point, like I think that's probably the second part most people really fall off the wagon is, okay, now you got a great work ethic, where's that work ethic going towards? And is it what you want?
Yeah, I think we've I think our generation is kind of understanding different a different side of truth, because I think truth has like so many different. It's like a prism, like you can see like all different angles. But I think the side of truth that is kind of being revealed is that kind of what you're saying, like the hard work doesn't guarantee success. Because if
Yeah.
that were true, then I mean, I could name some of the hardest working people. I mean, just blue collar, just just get after it. Up at 5, go to bed. They do it, or up at 4, do it the same day, do it the same thing next day, next day, next day. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for them. And I'm not, not belittling or anything, but I will say that some of those people just haven't, achieved peace or achieved freedoms, security and things like that. So to be able to learn from that, I think is wisdom. To be able to extract the information from an experience without the emotional charge. I think that's the definition of wisdom. So if I can, extract the information from, Joe Schmo's experience, right? That, the working hard doesn't guarantee success, and apply it in my life, I think that's wisdom. And so yeah, I think there's an opportunity for more people to find out different ways of doing something, and that there's not just one way. I think that's the toughest thing for me, is like sometimes I see people do stuff and I'm like, dang, like and then they'll say how they did it, and I'll be like, I wish it could happen for me that way. But I just know the way I operate, it's just going to be different, because I just have a different set of moral compass or this or principles or belief systems or this and this. And obviously some belief systems need to be thrown out for real. But it's just interesting, because you read a lot of books and it's like, if you just do 1, 2, 3 and XYZ, you're going to make it. And you're like, well, it can't be that simple. Like, it can't be that simple. Well, what's we can maybe find like the underlying principle within each one of those. But if it's not I feel like if it's too zoomed in, it's probably an opinion, right? It's probably an opinion. It's probably a strategy. It's not a principle. But when it's zoomed out and it's kind of a little bit more broad, and you can kind of fill in and put in your own personality in there, and put in, okay, this is Harrison, this is me, I see it this way, a little bit this. Of course, we need to change and become better. But if I can put my own personality and individuality in there, and it fits, then I think we got something. So I think that's what I'm kind of searching for, and feel like I've kind of found a little bit post football. But it's a beautiful journey, and yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. It's tough for most people, and I would say it has a real reason why it is, I would say.
Yeah, well, to your point, I think one of the biggest reasons, it's a journey, right? If I talk to you again when you're 90, you're going to tell me the same thing. I think I got it. I'm pretty happy. But you won't say like, yeah, no, I know for sure. Like, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. You'll feel good, I'm sure.
Right.
But like, it's a journey. It's never over. Just constant ups and downs. And like, that's the beauty of it. Can't feel the highs if you don't feel the downs.
Yeah, you don't know what peace is if you don't experience sorrow or chaos or whatever it is. I like that. I think there's this one book, Florence Sheen. I believe it's either The Game of Life and How We Play It, or it's The Doors to Success. It's one of those. Great authors, like 1930s, 1940s. But she was talking about this one. It's kind of a theory, of course. For the pragmatists, this probably won't stand, but it's like it's dark and it is darkest before dawn. And so it kind of goes to what you're saying, like you don't really know what a high is if you experience a low. And like one of kind of the duality of life is that you have to experience both. And that's kind of why we exist. Because if we were to just experience good, it would be boring and it would be kind of like shameful, right? Because you're just given all this good and you don't get you don't get to earn anything. You don't get to work towards something. And then if you experience all bad, that would just be absolutely terrible, right? Like, who would want to live in that, right? And so, but it's like this beautiful yin and yang, you know, positive, negative, light and dark, whatever you want to insert in there. But there's this principle that she talks about that usually when you set out to do something, when you set out, and I don't mean this from like a pessimistic standpoint, when you set out to do something, that usually an indicator that you're going in the right direction, which is such a paradox, is it actually gets darker. Like, what the heck? Like, that's crazy. Well, it gets darker because, you know, just like, you know, when the sun comes up, it's the darkest, it's the darkest the day has ever been, when right before the sun comes up. Right. And so it's kind of alluding to that the light comes from, or the expansion in your life, the setting in your life, the explosion in your life of success towards progression, towards fuller expression, comes right after some of the darkest moments, some of the harder moments. And so it's almost like a cosmic encouragement, knowing that you kind of have to go through some turmoil, go through a little bit of suffering, not as like a prerequisite, but almost as like I would say as a refining tool. Yeah. As a refining tool, as a purifier, as a molder, there's a story in the Bible in Jeremiah where it talks about God gives Jeremiah this like vision of a clay, a potter with a piece of clay, and he's molding it, right? And I believe he's talking like Israel being the vessel that he needs to mold into this perfect thing. And so I think Israel is kind of representative of like us, right? And so like you have to be molded into this thing, and a vessel is obviously something that receives something. So you have to, and not to get preachy, of course, but you know, for you to be adequate. I mean, it's like I love this analogy of the electric, like a light bulb. So like, let's say a light bulb holds, you know, 60 watts of, you know, electricity or whatever. If you if you put in, you know, 1,000 watts of electricity, it's going to explode. It's going to short circuit, you know, it's going to be chaos, right? But if you were to expand the light bulb to, you know, hold a certain amount of watts, and then you put the 1,000 in and it's able to hold 1,000, there will be no short circuit, and it will be exactly what it needs. So I think there's a principle there that we need to become something before we can receive something.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Well said. A lot of wisdom here. We got to throw the break, but yeah, I mean, the easiest example of that be like when you're talking about just kind of recalibrating sites is like, you ever get your car in the shop, and when you get that car back, you forgot how much you love that car.
Man,
even if it's a piece of crap, like just to have it back, it just recalibrates everything for you. It helps you have that appreciation that you maybe lost along the way. So as much as those things suck, like you somehow gain like a heightened appreciation for just about all the things you have. So with that being said, we'll throw it to our final break here. What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington? Harrison Arms on the 1s and 2. Shout out everybody joining in. You can continue to join in. We'll talk to you on the other side.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more. Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensondsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
It's the problem no one wants to talk about, the middle child of driver safety. In the time of doing everything in the car with 3 screens and a surround sound symphony sending you somewhere sunny, driving takes a back seat to swiping and replying. And while you're eating and taking a sip from your drink, more than 14% of fatal and injury crashes are being caused by distracted driving. This is distracted driving for real. Let's start driving for real. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the 2nd season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
When your home fills up with family, Aloe Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Aloe Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Aloe at 866-481-2556 or visit aloefiber.com.
Back to What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome back in. Third segment, Chancellor Brewington, the host as always on What's Brewing, Chancellor Brewington. We got about 4 minutes left here on this segment. Brewington, I'll give you the floor. Where do you want to go with it?
Yeah, we had some really good conversation there. I think that was awesome. I think it's really important to share, to be truthful, because I think the saying that like truth sets you free. I think that saying is prevalent, and I think it's a real statement. I think it has some real backings behind it, but also in a sense of like sharing, like, I think there's individual truths that come from the whole truth. And so like sharing my truth, and not like in like a not in like this new age way where like you can just say like anything and it be truth. Like, but like share my experience and share like the wisdom I got from it. And then like you share yours, and then like we come together and share like as a collective and bring it to people. I think there's a lot of power in that. And I think like that's what kind of this world is craving a little bit of. It's not saying like it's craving me or it's craving you, but I think it is craving authenticity. And I think sharing each other's truths are that's an authentic, but also, you know, it requires a little bit of transparency though. So I just appreciate everyone listening, for sure. Of course, I know it's a sports radio and we delve in, it's later. So, you know, I feel like my mind be going to different places later in the night, but,
it's
like
April 10th. There's so much Husker football news.
Hey,
yeah, I mean, it's also one of those times where it doesn't kill people to have these conversations in kind of it's a late at night and a little bit of the lull of the sports season as well. And as always, 6 a.m. Be sure to tune in. Early break, and then everything there on after. I mean, it's sports all day.
Yeah, they'll get you right with everything sports. But I guess I've just really just expressed my gratitude to whoever's listening for real, and just saying like, I would just say like being a little voice of encouragement, that like help someone do something. I think that would be my end goal in life, right? Like, you know, the flashback over your life, and you kind of like get to see like a little bit of like the effect that you had on people. I think that would be awesome, and not in like a narcissistic or like presumptuous.
No, it'd be really
way
good for you. Like, think about it. If like your entire life was just like built on accumulating wealth, and then like you die and like all your memories are just like coin, you like pulling getting
right, like
cashed in
what the
checks,
heck?
and it's like you're like, wait a minute, I'm dying. None of this matters anymore. But if instead you flip that with like a bunch of memories, and those memories, you know, are going to live on with people that are still alive, like you'd feel a lot better about leaving, as opposed to just you know your last way out is just like a bank statement. Like that feels terrible.
Yeah, like I remember both of my granddad, and so my dad's dad and my mom's dad, they've both passed away now. And my dad's dad, when he passed away, it's like 2012. You know, he was a high school coach, football coach, basketball coach, whatever. But a lot of his players, a lot of his students, you know, wrote in and said, you know, he helped me with this, or he bought me my first pair of cleats, or he came to the house when, you know, someone, you know, a parent was putting their hands on the child and stop that interaction. Right. And then on my mom's side, it's like, you know, he was this extraordinary man, and both of them were extraordinary, but like, you know, he has a very different set of stories. Like, you know, he went into a bank one time and the bank teller was having problems. He went and got the bank teller's husband a job, and, you know, they ended up being successful. Like this whole
sounds like a great guy helping out
like
everyone.
Yeah, so, but it's just like those are the things that I want. I don't know if I can say that everyone should want, but I want those experiences when I leave. It's not like he obviously, you know, it would be amazing for the money and all that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, but I do believe that it's more than that. And I think being able to say like, hey man, you said something that helped me, or the way you acted, that would be the best one. The way you acted in a situation motivated me to become a better person, or like something like that, like especially with action, because just saying something on here, you know, at the end of the day doesn't really mean much, you know. If you see somebody embodying truth, I think that's where you get the religious figures, the people who have changed history, right? And I would say that's my goal.
Yeah, well said. And we'll tie it up, you know, with sports here. Like you talk about, you know, when you find someone who's authentic and practicing those virtues, like I'll tell you, you time back sports, that's how you get the Tom Osborne's, right? Like there was no part of that guy that was a lie. He totally believed in everything he was preaching, and what it led to is all the guys he coached believing in the same things and everybody moving in one direction. And it created championships and an awesome culture that Nebraska football still lives on today. With that being said, Brewington, final words.
Yeah, just like I always say, stay blessed and acknowledge all that you have, because gratitude goes a long way.
Absolutely. Appreciate it as always, Brewington. Until next week, and for everybody else out there listening, have a great rest of your Thursday night.
Advanced medical imaging